Welcome friends to Gardening Pathshala. Hope you are all doing well and your garden plants are equally doing well. This is one of my rose plants in my garden. This is in a pot, a 10-inch pot, and you can see there are so many buds and so many flowers on this plant. The plant looks really beautiful and the growth and the yield of this rose plant is really good. And the regular food that I use for this plant is an organic liquid fertilizer, homemade organic liquid fertilizer. I use this fertilizer once a week for this plant and you can see the result. You can use this organic liquid fertilizer for almost all kinds of garden plants. Though there are some plants for which you cannot use this fertilizer. I will discuss about that later in this video. Friends, I'm into gardening for many years. I grow plants in soil as well as in soilless growing medium hydroponically, and I think this is the best organic fertilizer that you can use for your garden plants. And if you use this organic fertilizer regularly, you won't have to use many other fertilizers for your plant. Actually, you won't need them. You might have noticed that when we pot up a plant, the plant does very well for a few months and then the growth of the plant comes to a sudden halt. It happens because the nutrient elements, those were present in the soil, were used up by the plant. So we need to regularly add fertilizers to the soil so that the plant keeps growing naturally. And this liquid organic fertilizer that we are going to prepare now contains all the nutrient elements that a plant needs in order to grow properly and in order to give better yield. We need two things to prepare this liquid organic fertilizer. One of the two things is mustard cake. Friends, the ratio is very important. How much mustard cake you are adding to how much water, that is very important. If you want to prepare 10 liters of this liquid organic fertilizer, you will need to take 100 grams of mustard cake. You may wonder how much liquid fertilizer you should prepare. Well, that depends upon how many plants you have. If you have 40 plants and you want to use 250 ml of this liquid fertilizer for every plant, then you will need 10 liters of this liquid fertilizer. I will prepare 15 liters of liquid fertilizer, so I am taking 150 grams of mustard cake here. The other thing that we need in order to prepare this liquid organic fertilizer is rice starch. When we prepare rice at home, we add water with rice and then we boil the water, and when the rice is ready, we separate that watery content. That watery content is rice starch. We generally throw this away. I will add 150 ml rice starch. If you want to prepare 10 liters of organic liquid fertilizer, then take 100 ml of rice starch. Friends, when you prepare a fertilizer that requires fermentation, always use a clay pot, because these clay pots have got millions of tiny holes in them and these tiny holes facilitated the fermentation process. I have taken 1.5 liter of water, plain tap water, and then adding 150 ml of rice starch, and next I will add 150 grams of mustard cake. Friends, if you are into organic gardening or if you love to give organic food to your plants, then I encourage you to give this fertilizer a try. I'm sure you'll be amazed to see the result after using this fertilizer for a while. After adding mustard cake and rice starch with water, take a stick and stir the water very well. After stirring the water very well for a few minutes, take a lid and put it on the pot and keep the pot in a shady place, preferably in a cool place where sunlight doesn't come. Direct sunlight, there may be indirect or diffused sunlight, that don't matter. One important thing that you should remember that you should not be stir the water again until the whole fermentation process is complete. We will let the things ferment for 3 days, and on the 4th day we will be using this fertilizer for our plants. I have taken 13.5 liters of water in a bucket, and with it I will add that liquid fermented fertilizer. First I had taken 1.5 liters of water. With that I had added mustard cake and rice starch, and then I took 13.5 liters of water and mixed them together, so the total liquid is now 15 liters. It is not yet ready to be used for plants. To get it ready, we'll do another thing. We will use a strainer and filter the liquid. We will use only the liquid portion and we'll filter out the undissolved stuff. Many ask me whether it's necessary to filter it. Well, it's not necessary, but I think it's better to filter it. This will minimize the risk of fungal infection in the soil. You can use this filtered out mustard cake in your compost bin. For which plants you should use this fertilizer? You can use this fertilizer for most of the plants. Just don't use this fertilizer for indoor plants and succulents. Use this for your rose plants, adeniums, hibiscus, bougainvillea, vegetable plants, flowering plants. And I think for rose plants this is the best fertilizer. Use this once a week and you'll be amazed to see the result. How much of this fertilizer you should use for a plant? If your plant is in a 8-inch pot, use 250 ml, and if your plant is in 10-inch pot, use 500 ml of this fertilizer. While giving this fertilizer to your plants, avoid pouring this fertilizer on the leaves of the plants because this might cause leaf burn. You can use this liquid fertilizer for soil medium, for soilless growing medium like cinder, sand, coco peat. One word of caution, it's better not to use this liquid fertilizer during rainy season months for your plants. And after using this fertilizer for your plants, spray water on the leaves of the plants so that there is not any accidental leaf burn. Friends, if you enjoyed watching the video, please like the video and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thanks for watching and hope to see you again.